These Star Fox relics are the rarest of the rare. They have never been seen publicly. In 1993, Nintendo Power hosted the Super Star Fox Weekend Competition, an event promoting Star Fox and its new in-cartridge coprocessor, the Super FX chip. In layman's terms, and for those unfamiliar, the Super FX is what allowed Star Fox to render its polygons despite it running on a 16-bit system. The competition hosted thousands of players throughout participating retail locations. Now, in present day, as collectors and preservationists, we idolize the unique competition cartridge that had a different ROM on board. It wasn't the retail version of the game. This cartridge was available via Nintendo Power after the event. Currently, it is rare, expensive, and very much sought after. However, in addition to a cartridge, each store was given swag, tools, and instructions. Today, we've preserved the long-lost instructional video that breaks down exactly how Nintendo wanted the competition to be ran. We've also preserved a very rare radio spot advertising the event. We'll go ahead and start with the radio spot and then afterwards dive into the longer video. And if you enjoy this type of content, make sure to like the video and subscribe. And also a quick reminder, we will be at the Detroit Retro Video Game Show on November 4th doing a meet and greet. Hope to see you all there. But anyways, without further ado, let's get started. Enjoy.
You take control of a starfighter above an enemy world. You scream out of the stratosphere toward the most heavily armed planet in the universe. Suddenly, enemy ships attack you. Asteroids laugh at you. Rock crushers able to reduce you to cosmic dust tail your every move. You're up a creek without a Nova bomb, and worst of all, every one of your friends is standing there watching you. It's the Star Fox competition. Only on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. You play a special competition version of New Star Fox, the first video game powered by the Super FX microchip. Every player wins a limited edition Star Fox pin, and high scores could win an incredible trip for 4. It's the ultimate test with the ultimate game. The Star Fox competition, coming the weekend of May 1st. So get the game and start practicing now, because it's not just the universe at stake. It's your reputation.
Pre-register and compete in the Star Fox competition at Alpha Toys, Beta Electronics, and Omega Discount stores. Call participating stores for exact times and dates. See rules at stores starting April 26th. No purchase necessary.
You are witnessing a new technology. The first and only game powered by the Super FX microchip.
Danger, 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 danger.
Why go to the next level when you can go light years beyond? You are Fox McCloud in Star Fox, only for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Welcome to Nintendo Super Star Fox Weekend Competition. As the coordinator for this event, it is your job to view this tape and study the training manual. We're counting on you. Your training objectives are as follows. Set up and operate the Super NES hands-on displays for the Super Star Fox Weekend Competition. Be able to run the competition event smoothly and efficiently. Distribution of Nintendo product brochures. Know how to get help and fill out daily paperwork. Let's start with some facts about Nintendo's Super Star Fox Weekend Competition. The date, Friday, April 30th through Sunday, May 2nd, 1993. Specific days to be determined by your store management. Time, to be determined by your store management. The hours, you will work a minimum of 16 hours and a maximum of 20 hours. Specific hours and breaks will be determined by you and your store manager. Number of participating stores, 2,000 nationwide. Most important store of the 2000? Yours! Okay, let's get into setting up for the competition. Setting up. Your store manager received this training kit a short while ago. The training kit contains everything you'll need to run the Star Fox competition. Here are your supplies: the training manual and the videotape, 200 Power of Choice brochures, 200 Super NES brochures, 100 Nintendo Power Magazine brochures, 1 small screwdriver, 1 keychain with interactive display keys, 210 Star Fox pins, 200 pins for the competition, 10 pins for the store, 20 Star Fox t-shirts, 10 large and 10 extra large, 1 grand prize entry form pad of 50 sheets, 1 Nintendo pre-addressed FedEx pack, 1 sealed letter addressed to the store manager, 1 Star Fox button, 1 4-in-1 pen and knife set, 2 Super NES pens, 1 Star Fox competition game cartridge, 1 Star Fox baseball hat, and 1 Star Fox coordinator apron. This list of items is included in your training manual. The Star Fox coordinator apron has been specially designed to hold the items you'll need to run the competition. The 3 lower pockets are designed to hold a supply of Power of Choice brochures, Super NES brochures, and Nintendo Power brochures. Also, the grand prize entry form pad and the Star Fox pins. The upper left pocket is intended specifically to hold the grand prize entry form, which will be explained later. Display the Star Fox button as shown here. You'll also find room for your Super NES pens, display keys, pen and knife set, and the screwdriver. Next, let's take a look at the displays. In this section, you'll learn how to insert the competition cartridge, adjust the volume of the display, disable the timer on the display, turn on and off the power reset switch. Make sure you know what kind of Super Nintendo display you have in your store. If you have any problems or questions about your displays, call 1-800-875-1852.
Hi, I'm Scott, and I'm with Nintendo of America, and this is an M80C countertop Super NES interactive display. And I'd like to demonstrate for you how to change out the cartridge, adjust the volume, disable the timer, and turn the power off and on. The first thing we'd like to do is you need to pull key number LL419 from your competition demonstrator pack. Insert that into the keyhole to open the security lid. Then take your Star Fox competition cartridge, insert that into the Super NES control deck. Turn the power switch on, and once you've done this, you can actually go ahead and close up the lid, and this portion is completed. The next thing we'd like to do is adjust the volume on this display. The volume is located on the right-hand side, and you've been provided with a small screwdriver which will aid you in adjusting the volume. And by turning it left and right will help you adjust the volume. The next thing we'd like to do is go ahead and disable the timer. But first you must turn the power off on the entire display. The main power is located on the right-hand side towards the back of the display. Once you've turned off the power, then you can go ahead and set the timer switch setting. And that is located on page 9 of your manual. Once you have that code on the timer switch, go ahead and turn the power back on, and this will ensure unlimited gameplay. Well, that about wraps it up for this display. If you have any further questions, you can call 1-800-875-1852. Thank you. The next display is the M80A Super NES Floor Interactive. And I'd like to demonstrate how to exchange out the cartridge, adjust the timer, turn the display off and on, and set the volume. If this display is currently not in your store at this time, please fast forward to the next section. We need to start by first taking out key marked number LL419, insert that into the key slot. We open up the security cover, take your Star Fox competition cartridge, insert that into the Super NES control deck, and turn the power on. Once you've done this, you can go ahead and close the security cover, and this portion has been completed. The access to the volume and the timer are located on the right panel of the display. Once again, you take your key, insert it into the back of the display, turn it, and open the panel. Midway down the display, you have your volume and your timer setting. At the bottom of the display is where your on-off switch is located. You adjust your volume by taking your screwdriver and inserting it and turning it counterclockwise or clockwise to adjust the level. Prior to adjusting the timer, you must first turn off the power on the display. The power switch, once again, is located at the bottom of the display. Turn off the power, set the timer switch to the timer setting on page 9 of your manual, then turn the power back on. This will ensure that you have disabled the timer. Once you have turned the power back on, you can go ahead and close the back of the display, and we've completed. Well, that about wraps it up for this display. If you have any further questions pertaining to the M80A floor display, please call 1-800-875-1852. Thank you very much. This is the M99S Super NES Inline Interactive Display Unit. I'd like to show you how to change out the cartridge, adjust the volume, and set the timer on this display. The first thing we must do is pull out the key marked MM101 and pull this out of your competition package. Insert that into the keyhole to open the security lid. Take your competition cartridge and insert that into the Super NES display unit. Turn the power on. Once you've inserted the cartridge, we'd like to set the volume on the display. The volume is located on the inside of the display on the upper left corner with this knob right here. Below the volume knob is the timer switch setting. In order to set the timer, you must first disable the power to the whole display, literally unplugging it from the wall. Then set your timer switch setting and then plug the display back in. This will ensure accurate timer switch setting. Well, that about wraps it up for this display. If you have any further questions, you can call 1-800-875-1852. Thank you. This is the last of our displays. This is the M18Z 3-system interactive demonstration tower. And I'd like to demonstrate for you how to exchange out the cartridge and adjust the volume on this display. The first thing that we need to do is pull out key MM101 from your coordinator pack and insert it into the key slot located just below where the Super NES deck is. Once you've inserted the key, you need to push in on this modular and twist the key. This releases the mechanism which holds this unit in. Go ahead and pull the panel out and observe you have a plexiglass cover. This is removable and you can exchange the cartridge out. And then take your new Star Fox competition cartridge, insert that into the control deck, turn the power back on. Take your plexiglass cover, insert that back in, push the modular back in, and you're completed. The last thing that we need to do is just adjust the volume, and that is located just to the left-hand side of the left controller. You'll reach underneath, and you'll find a small little tube pointing straight down, and just adjust that ever slightly to the proper volume. That about does it. Well, anyway, this about wraps it up for this display. But once again, if you have any questions on any of the displays that we've shown in this video, please call 1-800-875-1852. Thank you very much.
Before we get into the details of running the event, let's take a look at the prizes. Each player who competes will receive a Star Fox pin. You have 200 pins for the competition and 10 additional pins for store personnel to wear during the competition. The player must play the entire 5 minutes to get a pin. A Star Fox t-shirt is given while supplies last to any player who beats the preset score of 70,000 points. T-shirt quantities are limited. Each store receives 20 t-shirts, 10 large and 10 extra large. Remember, only 1 t-shirt per player. If a player competes twice and beats the preset score each time, that player only gets 1 t-shirt. Each participating store will have a top score for their entire Star Fox competition. The top scoring player for your store will win a Star Fox flight jacket, which will be mailed to them 8 to 12 weeks after the event. The player must fill out a grand prize entry form, including their name, address, and jacket size. This player's name will also be entered into the drawing for the grand prize. The grand prize is a trip for 4 to the winner's choice of one of 4 exotic cities: Paris, Tokyo, Sydney, or London. This drawing will take place the week of June 7, 1993, and winners will be notified by phone. Now that you're familiar with the prize structure, we now come to the most important part of your training: running the event. First, some background information. The weekend competition will last between 16 and 20 hours. Specific days and hours will be determined by your store. Familiarize yourself with the competition cartridge by playing it repeatedly. The cartridge consists of 3 levels of gameplay: a planet surface, an asteroid belt, and a deep space obstacle course. A player's score is determined by the number of enemies and obstacles he can destroy in the given time of approximately 5 minutes. Plus, bonus points are awarded for destroying 100% of the enemies in a particular level. Bonus points are also given for unused bombs. When their time is up, the player's score is displayed on the screen. Pre-registration. Players were allowed to pre-register for the competition at your store by signing up on a pre-registration sheet. Your store manager will provide you with these sheets of names prior to the competition. The competition will therefore be composed of both pre-registered and regular or non-pre-registered players. If your pre-registration forms have open times, you can fill in regular players on a first-come, first-served basis. Nintendo has recommended to participating stores that catch-up time be blocked out on the pre-registration form. Catch-up time is time that is set aside in advance to handle any scheduling problems that might arise during the competition. We'll talk more about catch-up time a little later. Now it's time to actually run the event. Are you ready? Let's go! Running the event. Step 1. Competition cartridge is ready. The first step in running the event is to make sure the competition cartridge is ready prior to the competition. Make sure the cartridge is properly inserted into the display and that the timer on the display is disabled. Have your competition manual handy to set the proper timer configuration on the display. Running the event. Step 2. Check your pre-registration list.
All right, it's 10:30. We're on to the next section. I have the first name here is a Cindy Milter. Is there a Cindy?
That's
Cindy?
me.
All right, you're next in the competition here. Go ahead and step up here. This is controller 1.
Call out the first person's name for the appropriate time period. If the player is not there, proceed to the next name in that half-hour time period. If there are open spaces or none of the pre-registered players are present, then any regular player may compete. Make sure to write in each player's name on your sheet. Running the event. Step 3. Prepare the player. Remember that each player has approximately 5 minutes of play time and that there are 3 stages of play.
All right, so go ahead and hit start. And it's going to
The first thing the player will see is the Star Fox competition screen on the TV. When the player presses the start button, the controller configuration screen will appear, giving the player 4 different controller configurations to choose from. This screen lasts approximately 10 seconds. If the start button is not pressed, the competition sequence will begin. The player may also exit the configuration screen by pressing the start button. Remember, once the start button is pressed, there is no pausing or stopping the 5 minutes of gameplay. Running the event. Step 4. Prize distribution. Upon completion of the 5 minutes of gameplay, the player's score will be displayed on the screen for 15 seconds. During these 15 seconds, the controller will not function. During these 15 seconds, it is your responsibility to do the following.
Congratulations for playing in the Star Fox competition.
Give 1 Star Fox pin to the player. Remember, a player must complete the 5-minute competition to get a pin. Next, determine if the player's score makes them eligible to win a Star Fox t-shirt. If the player beats the preset score of 70,000 points, they win a Star Fox t-shirt while supplies last. There are 2 size choices available, large and extra large. Remember, only 1 t-shirt per player. Determine if the player has the top score of the event so far. Since the top scoring player of your competition will win a Star Fox flight jacket and be entered into the grand prize drawing, it is your responsibility to write down the top player's score on the grand prize entry form and ask the player to return it to you.
You will be notified.
Place this entry form into the upper left-hand pocket of your apron and discard the previous entry form. Only one completed form should be in this pocket at any given time.
Do you have any information?
Should a player be interested in more information, be ready to hand out any of the 3 brochures, and be sure to thank the player for participating. After the 15 seconds have elapsed, if the start button is pressed, the Super Star Fox logo will appear on the screen and the previous player's score will be erased. At this time, bring the next player forward and repeat steps 2 through 4. Let's take a look at the whole process, beginning with the first hour of the first day of the competition. Keep in mind that at the beginning of the competition, you may have to fill out a lot of grand prize entry forms, since the top score of the event may keep changing. To recap, each competing player receives a Star Fox pin. Each player that beats the preset score of 70,000 points receives a Star Fox t-shirt while supplies last. The current top scorer of the event must fill out a grand prize entry form, and this form must be kept in your upper left apron pocket until that score is beaten. This is how the competition is designed to run, but problems could occur. If a problem arises, what will you do? What will you do? Problem situations and how to handle them. Problem 1. What if a pre-registered player arrives too late to compete at their scheduled time? Let's watch.
Hey, am I too late?
Did you pre-register?
Yes.
What's your name?
This is Greg Richardson.
Greg Richardson?
Yeah.
What time did you register for?
10:30 to 11.
10:30 to 11? Yeah, I do have your name here, but it's 11:15 right now,
I know.
and we're on to our next group.
I know.
I don't have any other openings for about another hour and a half. I do have an opening at 12:30.
I can play at 12:30.
You can? You
Yeah.
come back in an hour and 15 minutes?
Yeah.
All right, Greg.
Let's recap what the coordinator did. He checked the registration sheet to see if there were any open slots. He used the catch-up section of the registration sheet to reschedule the player. Problem 2. What if I run out of t-shirts before the competition is over? Let's watch.
All right, Cindy, I have you for your time, but there's one thing I have to tell you. Unfortunately, we ran out of t-shirts because quantities were limited. So if you beat 70,000 points, you will be unable to receive a t-shirt. But you will still receive a Star Fox pin, and there is that opportunity to be the high scorer of the event. So you can still win a Star Fox jacket and the opportunity to enter the grand prize drawing for a trip.
Let's recap what the coordinator did. Before the new player began, he explained that t-shirt quantities were limited and that there were no more. He emphasized the fact that the player will still receive a Star Fox pin and will still be competing for the top score of the competition. Problem 3. What if there is a tie for the top score for my store's competition? Although it is highly unlikely, there could be a tie for the top score of the event. If this happens, you will need to keep both players' grand prize entry forms, and if nobody else beats their top scores, they will both be mailed a Star Fox flight jacket and be entered into the grand prize drawing. How to get help. If you have questions regarding Nintendo products, the competition, or Nintendo's displays, please see the help section of your training manual and follow the instructions. Okay, the competition is now over and the last satisfied player has left. You need to know how to wrap things up. Wrap up. At the end of the competition weekend, you'll need to do the following. Fill out your timesheet, sign it, and return the white and yellow copies to your store manager. Leave the following items with your store manager. Any extra t-shirts or brochures, the keys to the display, you can keep the keychain, this videotape and the training manual. You may keep the following items: the Star Fox baseball cap, the apron, the keychain, the 4-in-1 pen and knife set, the Super NES pens, any extra pins, and the screwdriver. Send the following items to Nintendo using the pre-addressed Federal Express pack that was included in your training packet: the Star Fox competition cartridge, the grand prize entry form, your completed Super Star Fox Coordinator questionnaire. It is extremely important that you send these materials to Nintendo as soon as possible after the conclusion of the competition. And that wraps up this training video. We recommend that you read your manual and watch this videotape as often as you can prior to the competition. The Super Star Fox Weekend Competition. Read it, learn it, live it.
Once again, big thank you to Get the Greg Games for sending these over. Make sure to check him out on YouTube. Links in the description below.